later on our webpage as well, so that we can review some of these really interesting presentations and topics. Our session yesterday covered a wide range of perspectives and countries and different sorts of things. It was quite interesting. Let's see here. Okay, we're already running 3 minutes behind schedule, so I think without further ado, we'll begin the video that you sent. Gulnara, would you like to give any sort of introduction to this?
Yes. No.
Okay, I believe there's a short introduction within this, so we're looking forward to this as well. Let's see, this video is about 7 minutes long, and then we will open it up for questions and answers should there be any. So let's go ahead and get started.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Gulnara Janova. I am from Samska Javakrati State University. The topic of my paper is the dilemma-based learning.
Just 1 second. Okay, great. Gulnara, if you could mute your microphone, then the audio would work a little bit better. Okay, excellent. Let's continue.
Technology and also fast communication cause great changes in education. Student-centered learning is becoming more important than ever today. Dilemma-based learning is one of the most successful approaches of student-centered learning. It's mostly used in learning humanitarian subjects, among them English.
But dilemma-based learning gave us opportunity to the teacher to teach the language effectively and get good results. But the question is, what is dilemma? In the explanatory dictionary of foreign words, we find the following definition. Dilemma is a Greek word and means logical reasoning and conclusion, which contains two mutually exclusive provisions, one of which you have to choose. Almost the same definitions are given in different dictionaries. Dilemma-based learning requires logical reasoning, critical thinking, taking conclusions, and choosing one out of two mutually contradictory statements. Dilemma can be based on everyday life or in event taken from history. Dilemma-based learning can be used with all age and ability groups. It can take the whole lesson or be a part of a lesson. It depends on the dilemma. The aim of the teacher is to lead students to the condition of making decisions independently. A good teacher can make the student think. In this connection, dilemma-based learning gives an opportunity to the student to think, discuss, and take a decision individually or in group. It is not an easy process. It requires a lot of work from teacher and a willingness to learn from a student. Dilemma-based learning has its steps. Here is given Roxana Richmond's dilemma-based learning steps. The first step is the instructor introduces students' dilemma. The second step is based on Dr. Edwards de Bono's 6 thinking hats. The third step is students in groups discuss and prepare presentations. Step 4, students make presentations. Step 5, students present their solutions. And step 6, evaluation, includes self-peer top-down. The following steps are given in Wood's book that is called Dilemma-Based Learning in the Humanitarian Integrating Social, Economic, and Thinking Skills. He gives the activities. The first one is an activity that is a guided visualization. Then comes the whole class activity, then small group activity. They have a timekeeper, also a group facilitator, the observer, and the scout. We have studied also and learned a lot of articles, and especially introduced to Jean-Luc Party's articles, and envisaging our students' ability, we developed our own steps of using dilemma-based learning. The dilemma given below is created by us. We did it with our English class and it worked well. Jessica's dilemma. Jessica and her husband John have 3 children: Sebastian, who is 15, Maria, who is 12, and Christina, who is 2 years old. Jessica is a famous designer. Her husband is a manager of a big company. They do their best to bring up their children well, to take care of them and give them a good education. Jessica and John are very busy. They often come home late, so they have a nurse to look after their children. 2 weeks ago, Jessica noticed that Christina had delays in many basic skills. Namely, she had difficulties to socialize with others, to communicate, and to use the imagination. Jessica decided to wait a little. Time passed, and there were no changes with Christina. Jessica took her to the doctor. It appeared that Jessica had a pervasive developmental disorder, PDD, a mild form of autism. Jessica and John were shocked when the doctor told them about Christina's illness. It was not easy for them to accept this fact. Jessica decided to leave her job and devote her life to Christina, but her husband told her that they had other children who also needed parents' care and attention. Furthermore, they had a bank loan. What should Jessica do? We had our own steps. Step 1, introduce dilemma. Step 2, reflection. Each student individually thinks about the story and finds the personal point of view and prepares for the first decision and the first discussion. Step 3, divide the class into small groups. Step 4, first dilemma discussion. First 5, after the first debate, we think about all the arguments and work out verbal meaning. That are the series of questions which will help students gain more knowledge about autism, particularly about PDD. To know more about this disability, we give each group different texts about autism or search additional material in the internet together with students. Step 6, exchange information. And step 7, final decision. Students make a final decision, make a presentation, and share their decisions with the class. Others are free to give questions. Class votes for the best decision. In conclusion, we may say that dilemma-based learning is a productive approach in teaching a foreign language, especially speaking, because students learn how to solve problems, take resolutions in conflict situations, and think critically. Furthermore, during taking decisions, students have to explore the issue more deeply and this way gain more knowledge. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Gulnara and Maka, for the interesting and new and innovative approach to teaching as well. Let's see if Rauf or Mohsen have any questions for you. Maybe while they're coming up with questions, if they want to raise their hand, you can use that using the figure of the person at the top of the screen, or you can type in the chat box. In the meantime, I have, to be honest, not used dilemma-based learning in my classroom before, and I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about how your students have reacted to encountering these difficult dilemmas and what kind of interesting solutions they come up with.
Thank you for this question. I tried it with the teachers first. Here we have ITAG, Teachers Association of Georgia, and it worked well with the teachers. And then I decided to try it with my students. And the first course I tried this
model or approach was the third course students. They are very good ones, and it worked very well. It was so interesting, and their discussion and debates were so active that I decided to make other dilemmas for them. Before this, using this dilemma learning model, I used the problem solving some activities, and so they had somehow an experience to take part in debates and express their ideas and make decisions. So I think that it's really very good to develop speaking skills with the students. I mean English philology. Maybe it will be a little difficult for the other students who study at other faculties, but if the teachers try, I think that step by step everything will be okay.
And hello, I'm Maka, the second presenter. And the most interesting is that this activity has not only one answer. So the students debate and they somehow are interested in if there is the right answer, but at the end you say that, okay, all of your opinion is very good, like interesting, and there is no right answer. And this one is very tricky too.
Great, thank you so much for sharing. I like to use a lot of debates in my class as well, and now I'm definitely considering how to bring in dilemmas into those debates about what should you do. I can imagine all sorts of great language can be taught here, modals and conditionals and those sorts of things. And so thank you again for sharing these. Let's see, Mohsen just logged in. He typed here. And so any other questions for Gulnara and Maka? Let's give them just a few seconds here. Okay, I think we can go ahead and finish here today unless anyone else has, with this presentation, I mean, we have a number of other presentations going on. I was hoping that Gulnara Gorgiladze, the next presenter, would be joining us today, but it doesn't look like that is the case. So let's see, Mohsen, I think you were requesting to go a little bit early, or someone was requesting to go a little bit early. Otherwise, I think we'll have a quick break until 12:10. So let's see here.
So, Kevin, that was the first.
Okay, Mohsen, welcome again to the 2017 IRCEELT virtual conference. And we have, let's see, we have a number of slides to get that you have today. It looks like they're working. It looks like your microphone is working. Once again, I want to remind you that we all have a Facebook account. You can log in and watch other things going on in the conference there. And of course, everyone is welcome to this virtual conference. Without any further ado, Mohsen, I'll give you the microphone control, and you have control of the PowerPoint, and feel free to start whenever you're ready.
For sure. What about time? Just 10 minutes. Am I right?
It's we actually, since we have a few cancellations here, feel free to take up until 12:20. If you want to finish a few minutes early, we might have some questions for you in this interesting topic. I know I might have a question or two for you as well, because I'm really interested in this research. So it's 11:57 right now. Feel free to take about 20.
Okay, thanks. Can I start now? So, in the name of God, the compassionate and merciful. The article entitled Effect of Georgian Language on Learning English as a Third Language. Actually, I'm from Iran, and my first name is Mohsen, and my last name is Gugunani. Let me start now. In each society, people can be found who are monolingual, bilingual, or even multilingual. multilingual people have the ability to use only one language. Bilingual people speak two different languages, and multilingual people use more than two, as you can see in this slide. But there is a distinction between additive and subtractive bilingualism as such. When members of the majority group learn NL2 in order to become bilingual, bilingualism results in additive linguistic consequences. When minority group members learn NL2, which might replace their L1, bilingualism results in subtractive linguistic consequences. Okay. Canas, one of the famous scholars, deducted 4 types of multilingualism from the research. Actually, the first one, the 3 language systems follow one after another in a series without interruption. So languages are acquired successively or consequentially. And the second one, the third language system acquisition is simultaneously and in a parallel trend with the first and second. Or the third one, the first language system is already acquired first of all, then 2 other languages are acquired simultaneously in a parallel case. Or the last one, all the 3 language systems are acquired simultaneously in a parallel case. Okay. TLA, third language acquisition, is a new topic of research that has drawn the attention of many scholars during the last 2 decades. One of the reasons why scholars have drawn their attention on TLA might be the boom of multilingual cultures around the world nowadays. Other reason might be the growing immigrant communities in countries. But I think there were some gaps. Third language acquisition is a new area of research. Some studies have been shown inconsistent results. Results provided by several studies doesn't allow for generalizations of the effect of bilingual education on L3 acquisition. In very few previous research have been done, the first language is completely different from the second and the third one. Let me go to another slide. Language topology is an important point, has been neglected in many of research. In very few previous studies have been done. Monolinguals are living in a poor monolingual region, and the bilinguals are the active type. But let me go to the research questions. The first one, what is the relationship between Georgian and Persian biliterate additive bilingualism and learners' proficiency in English as a foreign language? And what is the role of language typology in third language acquisition? And we have 2 null hypotheses there. There is no significant relationship between Georgian and Persian biliterate additive bilingualism on learners' proficiency in English as a foreign language. And the second one, there is no significant relationship between language typology and third language acquisition. Yeah. In these slides, I'm going to present a really short literature review. Wagner, Pratt, and Zaki concluded that L1 in their research was Berber. Illiterate doesn't hinder the second one, means Arabic, or the third one here, French. Let me skip and go to the next slide. Results deducted from San's study replicated those of Canas and Valencia. As in the case of the Basque immersion program, students in the Catalan immersion program show an advance as L3 learners compared with the students in a monolingual school. But language distance or typological distance. De Angelis states that language distance refers to the distance that a linguist can objectively and formally define and indefine between languages and language families. But an interesting point, Georgian people in Iran, near to 200,000 ethnic Georgian people sent into exile by Shabbos of Safavid in 1614 to 1616. Now, the next generation of Georgian population are living in Feridun Shah. They have been spoken Georgian for about 400 years. Georgian, as you know, the language has 33 alphabets. But yeah, let me talk about the participants of the study. In this study, all the participants are monolingual or bilingual. Monolinguals live in Golpaigan, which is a monolingual region, and people speaking just Persian as their mother tongue. Bilinguals live in Feridun Shah, which is a bilingual area, and Georgian and Persian are spoken there. Bilinguals exposed to these two languages from birth. Participants of the study are going to learn English as a foreign language. Bilinguals' first and second language are Georgian and Persian. All the bilinguals are active type who actively use their two languages in everyday life and are actually learning a third language. They are early bilinguals exposed to two languages from birth and now live in a bilingual context. They usually mix Georgian and Persian a lot when talking to each other and use code switching or code mixing communicative strategies. They started to learn English as a subject at school at the age of 14 to 18 and don't have a lot of exposure to English. The participants, neither monolinguals nor bilinguals, don't use English in their daily communication. All the participants in the current study divided into two groups. Let me go to another slide. Yeah, Group A and Group B. Yeah, Group A involves monolinguals who just speak Persian, and Group B, which include additive bilinguals who speak both Georgian and Persian. Group A includes 40 monolinguals who have on male and female who are 14 to 18 years old, and as you know, as I said, and they are studying English at the intermediate level in Arad Private Institute in Golpaigan. Group B includes 14 bilinguals who have some male and female who are 14 to 18 years old, and they are studying English at the intermediate level in Pegah Umid Private Institute in Feridun Shah. Participants from the multilingual will be actually participants from the multilingual with languages other than Georgian or Persian, will be eliminated from the final sample. Let me show another slide. Bilinguals, as you can see, Group B, and I explained about that. But here you can see the list of instruments that I used there. At first, let me show another actually slide. In the study was conducted in two phases, the first and second. In the first phase, this study was conducted with bilinguals in Feridun Shah. Firstly, the OPT, Oxford Placement Test, was given to all participants in one administration. Then, based on their English proficiency, the purposive sampling selection was done. Then Raven's intelligence was given to all bilinguals. Next, attitude and motivation questionnaires were administered, their scores on OPT, intelligence, attitude, and motivation questionnaires were obtained and submitted to SPSS for analysis. Based on their score, bilingual participants were selected and classified into 3 separate groups. You can see the list of instruments that I use. Now, let me talk about the variables. I had 2 dependent variables and 5 independent variables. Bilingualism and multilingualism here are dependent variables: language proficiency and English, attitudes, academic exposure to English, motivation to learn English, and intelligence are these independent variables. But this statistical analysis was conducted. Again, I use qualitative section, I use qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis. You can see the diagram here. Yeah. In statistics, Levin's test is an inferential statistic used to assess the equality of variance for a variable calculated for 2 or more groups. If the resulting p-value of Levin's test is less than the significant Levin, typically 0.5, the null hypothesis is rejected and it is conducted.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. It looks like we might have some technical difficulties. Mohsen, are you with us? Mohsen, are you with us? Let's see, can everyone hear me, or can anyone hear Mohsen? Let's see, Mohsen, are you with us? Let's give Mohsen a few more seconds to see if the connection comes back online. Mohsen, still no connection from Mohsen. Let me try a few things here just to make sure. Let's see, maybe Mohsen is attaching to this presentation software. Okay, looks like Mohsen is offline. Let's wait just 1 or 2 more minutes to see if Mohsen joins us again and continues with this presentation. I think Mohsen was just about finished with this presentation because there were something like 24 or 25 slides. So let's wait, let's see, 2 more minutes, so 12:18 or 12:19. And if Mohsen cannot join us, unfortunately, I think we could move along to the next presentation. So next on the list after that would be Raouf. Rana, you're on the list for later on today at 2:50 until 3 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us now. I hope that this is some really interesting topics. I've been living in Georgia now for 6 months, and the Georgian diaspora, in particular in Persia, is a really interesting topic to me. I think third language acquisition is also interesting. So I really hope that Mohsen can log back in and finish this presentation. But let's give him until, let's see, another minute or so. So we have a few viewers here as well, and we have a few students in the room. They stepped out, but they'll be back in watching this here live at International Black Sea University in beautiful Georgia. We had a really beautiful day yesterday and a cultural trip today. The weather has changed a little bit, as it tends to do in the springtime, and so I think our participants at this conference are a little bit more on the cold side, but still everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. Mohsen is back online. Let me make Mohsen a presenter again. Let's see, Mohsen, are you with us? Mohsen, I don't think we can hear you quite yet. Welcome back. I'm sorry for any technical difficulties. These things happen sometimes. We have a few minutes to finish this presentation. If you're online and available to use your microphone again and pick up where you left off, let us know. Mohsen, we're not quite able to hear you yet. but it looks like you're adjusting some of the slides here. Maybe if you want to try that microphone button at the top of the screen a few more times, maybe we can get this working again and finish up here. Mohsen, we're not able to hear you right now.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Excellent.
Okay, thanks. Can I continue or start at the beginning of the slide?
Please. Do you want to go back to the beginning? Why don't we pick up where you left off, if that's okay?
So what should I do? Can I start again or continue the slides?
Let's continue. I think you were on slide number 22.
Okay, for
if
sure.
I remember
for sure.
correctly, if you want to go back there. I think those of us in the room here in Tbilisi, we were able to hear you up until you started talking about, let's see the slide again.
Okay, let me talk again. Let me finish the presentation because I think, yeah. Conclusion. Based on the analysis, the findings of the study supported the two null hypotheses of the study. According to the findings of the current study for the first research question, there is no significant relationship between Georgian and Persian bilingualism and proficiency in English. Proficiency in learning English. According to the findings of the current study for the second research question, third language acquisition doesn't affected by the language typology. So Kartvelian languages like Georgian don't play a special role in learning English as a foreign language. Thanks for your all attention, Kevin. Can you hear me now? Is there
yes, we can hear you as well.
Thanks.
For the audience, you can use the chat box down at the bottom to ask any questions about this interesting topic. Once again, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties here. Let's see if we have any questions. I might have a question for you as well. Also, the participants here, I just gave you microphone access, so if your microphone is enabled, you should be able to ask a question by simply speaking as well.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a quick question. If you don't mind, we have just a couple of minutes. Mustafa is not logged in yet. Let's see the next presenter. So as soon as we finish here, we can go into Ralph. My question is to you, do you think that you would have different results if these speakers that you had would have more experience in learning either Persian or Georgian as a second language before venturing into uh, English as a
Yeah. Uh, Answering to your question, I think the typology of the languages can be important because some of the languages are in the same family. We haven't the same results in lots of uh,
Unfortunately, it looks like we lost Mohsen again. It was the same sound, so I think we had some technical difficulties there. Maybe I can get a chance to chat more with Mohsen after this online virtual conference session finishes. I hope everyone else was able to follow along and to listen to Mohsen present. I really enjoyed that presentation, as well as the first one today. And once again, welcome to all of, we have Khalid who just logged in as well, and Rana who's joining us. Rana is presenting in the session this afternoon, and yeah. So at this point in time, we should have a presentation from Mustafa Azmi Bingo. However, and I did see Mustafa earlier today, it doesn't look like he or she is able to log in right now. So Ralph, if you are interested, we can go ahead and start with your presentation. Let me see here. Okay. Just 1 second, let me get Ralph's presentation loaded. Once again, Ralph, at the bottom left side of the screen, you should see a left and a right arrow button. This will allow you to control the PowerPoint presentation during your presentation. Let's go ahead and check your microphone if you wouldn't mind trying to speak into your microphone. You may have to enable your microphone. It's a button at the top of your screen. It may be white or green. Let's see here.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's great.
Yes, we can hear you very well. Okay, excellent. Go ahead and start whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, dear audience, if there is anyone. Can you hear me, please? Yeah? Am I there? Okay. I am Rauf Avcı from Iraqi Kurdistan in Ishaq University. My topic is Teacher Belief and Pygmalion Effect. Can I go to the next slide? Yeah. In this article, the paper will present the possibility for English language teacher to impact positively their students' language learning, especially the listening skill development, which is really very important skills. Not mean that other skills are not important, but listening is really most important skills. Teachers and students' perspective on a described factor may differ, but anyway, teachers will have impact on students' perspective and correspondingly their learning behaviors. Second slide. The Pygmalion Effect deal with positive impact of teacher positive expectation and of his or her students' views. Rosenthal and Jacobson support that. Let me tell you what is meaning of Pygmalion. The Pygmalion effect, also known Rosenthal effect, under study. The term deals with the ancient Greek legend about sculptor Pygmalion, who created a statue of the perfect woman and fell in love. I learned about the sculpture with her, and he begged God to turn her alive, which eventually happened. Significantly later, George Bernard Shaw wrote a play entitled Pygmalion. Like the ancient Pygmalion, teacher can largely contribute to his or her students' eventually success by believing in his or her. Students' ability to learn the foreign language successfully, even if students fail to do so for a relatively long time, and demonstrating that belief through constant support and constructive feedback. Eccles and Georgian, for instance, claim that teacher expectancy influences students' academic performance to a greater degree than students' performance influence teachers' expectancy. We can say that teachers' expectation most effective factor to impact students' performance. I think everyone believes that. The most key finding in this investigation paper is that English language teachers affect positively their students' language learning, especially their listening skill development. Let us give one example. Despite the humanistic load the theory carries, it can be interpreted in a market economy, termed as a customer is the king. The customer, it is students, okay? The customer is a student. So the teacher needs to believe in students in order to be able to sell the work to them. But if teacher does not believe to them, yeah, I think everyone believes that we cannot sell our work. And we cannot get a project which both of them have contributed. Anderson explained that if a teacher believes a student to be right, they will fruitfully, productively, they work together, so as to help that this expectation to come true. And it's a good question, how a teacher can develop the Pygmalion effect. Bannon showed that effect can be transmitted from a person to another person and can create an atmosphere that helps work and learning. A teacher can develop the Pygmalion effect by underlying the success when it occurs, demonstrating the patience when errors are made, and providing the information of its source needed for solving the problem, and providing useful drilling to overcome to diagnose problems, or choosing more knowledgeable students to help to students struggling to learn, and taking the responsibility for students' failure instead of constantly blaming the students. Trying to improve the teaching adjust is better to be students' ability to learning styles. Next slide, teacher expectancy and their impact on students' learning. There are really two kinds of expectation, positive and negative, each reflecting how we envision what is to come. If teacher regularly demonstrates negative expectation, students eventually come to believe that the given task is hopeless for him or her and give up trying, and this we call self-fulfilling prophecy. And there are some researchers like Anders and others define that compare the teaching method and activity types used that have a direct impact on learning, like memorization, understanding, ability to analyze and apply to material under study. Pygmalion effect, like other effective factor, has an impact on student desire to learn, on involvement in activity, and reducing the anxiety and increasing the internal motivation and self-confidence. In next slide, role of listening and teachers' contribution to development of students' listening skills. To master a language, listening is essential in turn. We cannot start speaking unless listening skills are developed. According to Correction, listening provides corresponding comprehensible input, which is crucial and critical learning the native as well as the target language. And thus, listening skills are very important for language communication and communicative second foreign language learning. The quality of listening comprehension may affect interpersonal relationships both at work and in personal life. As much learning is done through listening, the quality of listening skills has huge impact on the quality of learning. According to Phaeton, he supports that we use 57% listening in our real life, which is really very big. It's a really very big percentage. This means listening is most important. If we cannot listen, if we cannot understand, we cannot respond. That's why a teacher needs to be really supportive and plan the listening activity in such a way that their students manage to understand what they hear, teaching to explain that while learning to understand, while listening to native language. It takes children hours of daily listening practice for at least 5 hours. Before they learn to understand well enough what they hear, students should not be disappointed. And the student-teacher role is really important for right now. If students are disappointed, maybe they give up. If they do not understand what they hear in target language for a certain period of time. My next slide. Next slide. There are following principles of the teaching language acquisition while listening. Choose input to increase the motivation. It has to be comprehensible and interesting, informative, and emotional. Design clear pre, while, and post listening tasks that focus on meaning. Encourage the use of active listening strategy. Understand on the whole. Apply background knowledge. Hypothesis and check the hypothesis. Build step in activity that and change language awareness, teaching students to be more observant. Not download words dealing with beauty or the application of positive mode. Besides telling the students that they will interest nearest future fairly successful if they keep trying to provide Pygmalion Effect, language teacher have to look friendly. My last slide. Pygmalion Effect is uncommonly loaded with feeling approach to manage the affective variable, such as anxiety, motivation, perspective, risk-taking, and self-confidence. It does not have direct impact on learning, like other motivation factors, but like various teaching methods do, but an indirect one, increasing students' effort, which one is really very important one, yeah? The increasing student effort and in increasing the process of learning, because teacher believe and he want to study more because of teachers' beliefs. And this paper offers the ways how online teaching can develop Pygmalion effects while teaching, listening, and aside that it has positive impact on development of students' listening, comprehension skills to desirable level. Okay, thank you. Can you hear me, please? Yeah, my presentation is done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ralph. That was really interesting. I hope that the other participants were able to follow along using the technology that we have today. I wanted to mention in the keynote this morning by Luc Perjomo, he mentioned quite a bit of philosophical approaches about the different roles of teachers. And one of them that reminded me, that your presentation reminded me of, was the classroom is a marketplace. And so we had a brief discussion in the keynote this morning in the classroom as a marketplace. And he also did an informal survey in the audience of if they agree with that statement or not. So if you go to our Facebook page, you should be able to see a video of that if you weren't able to watch it this morning, and maybe get some evidence for IRCEELT conference participants' perspectives and beliefs about that one as well. So take a look at that. Let's see. Do we have any other questions for off today about the Pygmalion effect? Let's see, here in the room, it doesn't seem like we have any questions. Rana, do you have any questions? I don't believe we have any other questions.
Thank you so much.
So I think we can wrap up. Thank you again for presenting. I hope you enjoyed this process. And
of course, yeah,
have a good one. If you have time, please log in this afternoon for our afternoon virtual conference sessions.
Okay.
And you can find out more information in the email I sent you and on the Facebook page.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to look to Facebook if I get this presentation. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Okay.
See you.
Excellent. Okay, I think we will wait. Let's see here. We're running short on time to squeeze in Mustafa. Should he be able to log in and join us? So I think we'll wait another 2 minutes until 12:45 just to make sure he's not able to log in and complete that presentation as well. Once again, thank you everyone who participated today, both in person here at International Black Sea University and online.